I hope you find this video because I tried to start our live that was set up and I did it. I didn't do it landscape, so it wouldn't have worked well. So I hope you can find me here. We are going to be getting started in just a few minutes. So you're going to need something to hold on to, like a countertop or a chair or some kind of surface for some bar work. And then a mat or something to lay on for some mat work. So we'll be starting soon. Again, I hope that you're able to find this okay. And this is part of BreakOut Studios live online classes. So we'll be getting started here in just a few. All right. Hey, everybody. If you're on, I'm so glad you found me here. I messed up on the set live video, so glad you found me. And we are doing some dance conditioning today, so that will consist of some standing bar work and then some mat work. So just make sure you have something to hold on to and a mat or a towel or something to lay down on for that portion of class. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to face our bar, bringing the feet all the way together. Scoot back a little bit. So we're nice and parallel through the feet, and we're just going to take an easy bend in the knees just to find our standing alignment, shoulders over hips, and stretch. Just getting some movement into the ankles, knees, and hips. And again, bend, cross to stretch. 2 more, and stretch. Last one. This is just our little warm-up, rolling up to the right foot, and lower, switching left, and lower. Try to keep the hips level as you roll up. Think about squeezing in towards your midline with your ankles, knees, and thighs. One more time on the left, and lower. Both heels lift together, and down. Lifting up, and down. Don't let your ankles come apart. So try to really, again, find that squeeze into our midline, keeping that nice lift through the legs. We'll go for 4, and 3, last 2. One more time, heels stay up at the top. Let's pulse the heels higher. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 more here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. They're little pulses. Last one, lowering down. Just bend the knees and stretch. One more time, bend and stretch. Let's lift the heels up again for 8. Lower all the way down. 2, 3, 4. 4 more. Nice and strong. 4. Feel that lift of the heels right up to that glute hamstring. Last 2. Holding those heels up, pulsing up. Little pulses. 1, 2, belly lifted, 5, 6, 8 more here, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, lower down, bend both knees, and stretch. One more time, bend, and stretch. Let's take a little calf stretch after that. Right foot back, pressing that heel into the floor. If it feels good to bend, you can go there too, just finding what works for you. And when you're ready, switching sides. Other foot back, reaching that heel into the floor. If you need to soften, that's okay. And we'll come back into the bar and turn slightly. So go ahead and lift your toes, rotate to a small turnout or first position. We're just going to bend the knees here, press to stretch. So keep those heels heavy. Make sure the knees are tracking right over the second toes. And lift, bend, press through those heels. So don't just stretch the legs, push into the heels. So there's some activation to get the legs to straighten. And up. Let's go for 4. And 3. Last 2. This last one, we're going to hold it down. Now make sure your sit bones are right under your shoulders, not back behind. We're just going to pulse this down nice and small. 2, 3, 4. Pinky toes into the floor. Let's keep it pulsing. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stay down. Lift the right heel up. And lower it down, switching to the left. Don't shift those hips, right? So keeping the hips nice and level, side to side. We're just working below the pelvis for 4. And of course, always breathe. You can add the breath into the movement. Last one. Right leg comes up to stay, right heel, and we're going to pulse it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's switch, lifting the left heel. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And lift the right heel for 8, 7. Even weight across the ball of that foot. 6. One more 8. Count with the left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lower that heel. Stretch the legs all the way back up. Let's bring the feet back together, just warming up the shoulders, lifting both arms overhead, and press down. Lifting up. Try not to pop the ribs forward here, so you're getting as much opening through the chest as you can without letting the ribs open out. So keep the low back nice and long, belly lifted. 4 more. 3. Press. Last 2. And press. 1 more, and press. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a flat back. I'll go sideways for this one. So you're going to place your hands. Now, my chair is not very wide. Ideally, the hands come maybe just outside of the shoulders, if you can. We're finding a nice long spine, pressing the heels of the hands into that surface. Then extend one leg back to touch the foot to the floor. And we're going to lift the leg up, lower to touch. Just scoot forward a little bit. Lifting it up. Lower to touch. Trying to stay away from your furniture. It's always a struggle in our living rooms, I know. I'm right there with you. Up. Try to really reach the leg as long as you can. You're being really strict with your hips here. Keep them facing the floor. Don't let that hip rotate up of the lifted leg. Keep it in line. If you had headlights on your hip bones, they would be shining down to the floor all the time. Let's go for 4. And 3, think about putting your shoulders down into your back pockets. Last 2. This last one, hold that leg up to stay, and we're going to pulse it up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can you reach the leg a little longer for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep the leg up, bend the standing leg. Press to stretch. Bend and stretch the hips again. Stay really level. Don't twist there. Belly button lifting into the spine for 4, 3, last 2, 1 more, stretching up. See if you can bring that opposite arm off of the bar now. So my right leg is up, my left arm is forward, feeling like you're stretching forward and back, and lower everything down. Let's take a moment in the center just to reset, bend the legs, and stretch. One more time, bend, and stretch. Other side, lifting the left leg back if you did the right side to start, and we'll lift it up and lower, up. Now still think about your top inner thigh magnet. Try not to sit into the outside of that hip, right? So we're pulling that inner thigh to the midline on the standing leg. So we're really active for 4. Chest is square, hips are level. Last 2. Last one, lifting the leg up to stay and pulsing it up. 2, 3, 4, 5. Reach it longer. 8 more pulses, belly lifted. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Keep the leg up, bend the standing leg. And stretch, bend, press to stretch. Can you reach even longer through the head and the foot? Head is in line with the spine. For 4, 3. Last 2. 1 more. And stretch. Right arm comes off of the bar. Reaching in 2 directions, pulling forward and back. 1 more breath. And lowering everything to center. Go ahead and bend both legs. And stretch. 1 more time, bend. And stretch. Let's walk into the bar just to find a moment to stand up, arms down. Give your shoulders a roll, forward, up, and back. 1 more time. We're going to walk it back again. Finding that flat back. Extend the right leg back. Lift it up. This time, turn it out and bend the knee. So we're in an attitude, valley attitude. And we're going to just pulse the leg up, pulse. Don't twist the shoulders here. So that right hand presses into the bar even more. Little pulses up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's extend the leg to the side, bend it back behind. This little développé side, wrap it back. Développé side, wrap it back. Développé. Try not to press too much into that left hip. And wrap, keeping everything level. Last 2, unfold, wrap it back, unfold, wrap it back, lowering back down. Let's take a little bend in center, recenter everything, and bend. Left leg extends, lifting it up, rotate to turn out, wrapping the leg, attitude, little pulses up. 2, keep the belly lifted. 5, 6, 8 more in here. 8, 7, press into that left arm. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Développé side, wrap it back. And our goal here is to not upset the rest of the body as much as we can. So we're really stabilizing. Extend. And back. 3 more. Out. Wrap it back. 2. Wrap it back. Last 1. Wrap it back. Lowering down, taking a bend in the center. And stretch 1 more time. Walking into the bar. Lower the arms for a moment, just rolling the shoulders around. All right. Go ahead and walk your feet open to a turned out second position, wide turnout. We're just going to bend into 1 leg at a time and center. So this is just a joint movement, right? Hip, knees, and ankles. Those are the joints we articulate to bend. So we're just feeling that movement to the left. 1 more time, right and left. Both legs bend together. Dropping it down, press to stretch. Feeling that same press down through the heels to lengthen back up. Bend, press through the heels. Again, the hips stay right under the shoulders. For 4, 3, making sure you're breathing. 2, 1 more time, stay low. Pulsing it down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going. Lift the right heel up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going. Lift the left heel up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right heel lifts for 8. Stay low. If you can get lower, go for it. 4, 5, 6. Make sure you have even weight on the toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Lower the heel, stretch the legs all the way back up. Let's go into that right leg again, bending to stay. And from here, hips stay level, just lift the heel up and lower, lift. So nothing shifts above the pelvis, it's underneath. Keep going for 8, 7, 6, 5, into that quad, I know, 4, and 3, last 2, last 1, coming up to center. Other side, stay low, hips are level, lifting up, and 2, and 3. We have 12 here, so let's do 8 more. Here we go, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1, coming up to center. Let's bring the right arm forward, open it side, and then we'll take a stretch, lifting up and over to the left. Coming all the way up, open the arm side, place it to the bar, left arm forward, and open, bending to the right. Coming up and open, placing the hand, right arm again, forward and open, lifting up and over. Coming up and open, back to center, left arm one more time, forward and out. Lift to go over, coming up to center, and placing it to the bar. Walk your feet all the way back in. Coming to first position, turn out. We're going to work our passe. So the right leg comes up to the knee, up and down. Let's do 8 total on the right, switching to the left. Here we go. Up and down. Lift. Feel the lift coming from the hamstring. Again, the hips stay level for 4. Hamstring lift. Last 2. Switching to the left for 8. Up. Up and down for 4. 3. Hamstring lifts. 1, going to the right side for 4. We have the countdown. 3, 2. Last 1. Left leg for 4. And 3. And 2. Right leg for 2. Bring it up and down. Switching to the left for 2. Single count, switching legs. A right, a left, a right. Let's keep it going. 4 more. Bring it up. Bring it up. Last 2. Stay tall. Last 1. And create. Bring your toes together. Arms down. Rolling through the shoulders. 1 more time. Okay. We're going to transition, so put your bars away, grab a quick sip of water. I'll meet you down on your mats. All right. Just make sure you can see me. And we'll make sure, of course, we'll get some stretching in at the end here, so we'll keep working it out before, but we will get some stretching in. All right. So go ahead and come to seated right at the front of your mat. We're going to bend our knees and place our feet flat. Holding behind your thighs, use that to lift yourself up out of your sit bones. So you're nice and tall through the spine, bringing the arms forward in front. Take an inhale to sit tall. Exhale, curl back from your low belly. So we're trying to round out the low back, not the shoulders. Keep the collarbones open. Coming up again. Really use that exhale, because that's what you connect into the deep abdominals with. You can get even deeper when you breathe out. Exhale. Curling back. Two more. Last one. Curling back to stay. Let's find that nice deep scoop in the belly. Rotate the chest to the right and center. Rotate left. Exhale. 4 more. Try not to shift the pelvis. This is just the waist and the shoulders. Last 2. Last 1. Now see if you can lift the opposite leg as you rotate back to center, lifting the opposite leg. Every exhale, you're deepening that belly button into the spine. 2 more. Last 1. Roll yourselves all the way down onto the back. Let's pull the knees into the chest. Give them a hug. Little circle around to the right. Little circle around to the left. We're going to go into some rotation. So finding tabletop position, arms to a T. Now if you need to, if this is already a really challenging position for you to hold, go ahead and just place the feet on the floor. It'll be a slightly different movement, but still an acceptable modification. So if your legs are up, you are squeezing the knees and the ankles together. We're going to rotate both legs to the right, not too far. Left shoulder stays down. Exhale back to center. Other side. And center. So I want you to think about using your belly button to pull down to the spine to bring the legs back to center. That's what's happening. Belly button in. One more time each side. Last 1. Now if you'd like, you can add on or stick with what we were doing. Inhale to the right. Exhale, extend the legs out, coming center, and bend, other side. Extend. Pulling it up, and bend. To the right. Extend. Pulling up, and bend. Always, always finding that connection of the belly button into the spine. So think about breathing more into the ribs and thinking about that as a sideways lateral breath. Once more to the left. Coming up, pull the knees and just release those hip flexors. Let's place the feet flat on the mat. Let's go sit bone distance apart to start. Still keeping the arms in a T. We're going to start with just the pelvis. So you have a little bit of a space under your low back for now. Taking a breath in. Exhale, connect the belly down to curl the tailbone up. So you're almost trying to close that space in the low back. Tailbone starts to lift and then coming back to center. So it's a small movement to start. Breathing in. Belly pulls down to make that happen. Coming down. And if you're tighter in the low back, this will be a smaller movement. That's me. So that's okay. Just focusing in on the low belly. Lengthening it out. And exhale, curling in. Try not to over-engage the glutes here. Again, really just trying to isolate the movement into the low belly. One more time. Now we're going to add on to this. So coming back to center, start to curl it up. And we're going to continue peeling all the way up, one bone at a time, coming into a long line, hips to knees, right? And then we're going to roll down through the spine one bone at a time, starting with the sternum, the back of the waist, and then the tailbone. Rolling it up, tailbone leads. Try to keep those knees reaching directly forward. Watch that you're not trying to rotate into turnout by gripping into the glutes, right? Keep the knees reaching forward as you roll down, one bone at a time. Reaching through the tailbone. And again, peeling up, tailbone leads. See if you can use the belly to slowly articulate that spine. Sometimes that slower movement is harder. Keep the knees reaching forward, rolling down. If you are a ballet dancer, you do a lot of ballet, you'll find that your knees are going to want to open to the sides, or if you have that tendency to be in turnout in general. So really, really be strict with yourself about keeping that forward alignment with the knees. That will be challenging for you. Let's hold our hips up here. Stay here, and we're going to pulse the hips up. 1, 2, 3. Keep those knees in towards that center line. Keep it pulsing. 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now just lower the right hip down, pull it back to center. Left hip lowers, so we do a little mini twist in the hips. Right hip lowers and center. Left. It helps me to also almost feel like I'm squeezing a little squishy ball between my knees. Down and up. 4 more. Right hip down and center. Left and center. 2 more. Last 1. Let's keep those hips up. Lift the heels up and down. Lift. Keep the ribs connected up. So we're just working the heels, keeping the hips high for 4. 3. Still squeezing into center. Last 1. Lower the heels, roll down through the spine. Back of the waist. And tailbone. I love to get a hamstring stretch after that. So let's extend the left leg out long, grab a hold behind the right, flexing both feet. We'll just extend the right heel up and then never forcing the stretch, right? So all of our extensions will be a little different because we all have different bodies. So you're just going to where you feel you're just finding length in the back of the leg. The forced stretch is just going to make your muscles tighten back up because they're not ready to go there. So just remember that it's not beneficial. 2 more times. Last 1. And extending that leg down, switching to the left. Extending the heel up. And then, if you've been sitting a lot lately, this should feel pretty good. I know I have been. Reaching both heels away. 2 more. And bend. Last time, extending it up. Bending it in, placing the feet. Let's bring the both feet to the mat. We're going to take a little stomach series here. Now, I'm going to say before we go, if you have a lot of tension in your neck up there, you can always take the hands behind the head to support the head, or even keep the head down and just work the legs, because that's still getting a lot of abdominal engagement. You might get a little bit more into the low abdominals, which is not a bad thing, okay? So if your neck is feeling a lot of tension, just either support or keep your head down. We'll bring the legs up to tabletop, arms up to the ceiling, take a breath in, exhale, belly button in, then curl. And that's also gonna help with the neck tension, you guys. Okay, so lowering down, exhale, belly button first. Belly. 1 more. Belly. Holding here. Bring the right leg in, extend the left leg longer, holding that top leg, and we'll switch. Use that exhale. Pull the belly button in. Keep going. And notice that I am exhaling every switch because the belly needs to work in order to not strain too much into the neck. Last 2, last 1. Pull both legs in. Let's take the hands to the low shins, and we're going to go into a double leg stretch. Legs forward, arms by the ears, circle to pull in. Now I'm not lowering my chest here. I stay looking at the belly. Nothing changes in the spine. Exhale. 4 more. Last 2. Last 1. And in. Right leg to the ceiling. Hold on. Left leg down. Use your leg to pull your body up rather than your leg to you. Then we'll switch. Again, belly button pulls down. Use the leg. You can pull yourself up. That's okay. And 4, 3, 2, holding here. Take the hands outside of the thigh, pulsing over. 2. And switching other side. Switching to the left. And switching other side, pulse forward. 2. Last set. Stay here, bend the top leg, hands behind the head, switch. Elbows stay wide. Switch and switch for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees in. Whew, lower the head. Go ahead and circle the legs, massaging the sacrum into the mat. Whew. And other side. So I like to take a nice spinal extension after doing abdominals like that. So let's come onto our bellies and work into the opposite movement for the abdominals. So we're starting in arms in a W. Now, if you can, your legs are all the way together. If you have any low back, tightness or anything going on there, you may want to separate just slightly, but don't rotate to turn out. Try to stay parallel there, okay? So the forehead is down, the belly button is lifting off of the spine. You have a marble right above your nose. Go ahead and start to roll that marble out. Exhale, pulling up with the low chest, just a small little lift, and lowering down. Don't let that belly drop. Rolling that marble out, just starting small. And down. Rolling that marble out. As you start to come higher, think about lifting the belly away from the mat, opening the chest. We're trying to go for an even curve of the spine. Eyes lead, crossing a little higher. Eyes are the last thing to come back down at the end. Leading with the eyes, pressing it up. Keep the belly up and lower. So I'm going to show you on this next one what I don't want you to do, and that is to keep dropping the belly and really, I can't do it too much, but sink into the low back. So keep that lift. And lowering back down one more time, pressing it up. And lower. So now from here, hover the arms up off of the mat, okay? Roll that marble out. Just come to a little lift of the spine, okay? Pressing the legs in towards each other and down into the mat. Extend the arms forward, pull the elbows into the sides. And again, extending out. Keep thinking about lifting that belly button off of the mat. Now maybe this elbow bend pulls you a little bit higher in the chest. Two more. Last one. Lifting a little higher. And lower down. Place the hands. Press the hips back, finding a stretch through the spine. Take a few breaths here just to release. Coming forward again. This time let's work the legs a little bit. Let's come into an X. So the legs are as wide as the mat. The arms are as wide as the mat. Okay, belly is lifted. We're going to take an inhale to lift the right arm, left leg, and the chest. Lowering back down. Switching sides. Left arm, right leg, and chest. And lowering down. So I want you to be feeling, rather than thinking about lifting, I want you to feel like you're being pulled in two directions, forward and back. Again, that belly button really tries to lift away from the mat. Then we're not going too fast just yet, right? Just feeling that movement. Feeling what it feels like to lift the leg up and back. Two more. One more time. Okay, both arms and legs lift together with the chest. And lower. And again. And lower. Two more. One more time. Lifting up to stay. Shoulders are down. We're just going to go for a swim. Switching arms and legs. One at a time. Keep breathing for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach everything longer and lower down. Hands by the shoulders. Sit the hips back. Couple more breaths here. Let's come forward onto the hands and the knees. We'll get into the glutes for a moment. So we want to feel the knees together, hands under the shoulders. I know my shirt's a little baggy, but I'm trying to feel that my belly is lifting into my spine, so I'm nice and long out of the head, out of the pelvis. Let's extend that right leg back, lift up, bend. Try to keep that knee under the heel, flexing the heel, okay? Think about stomping that foot to the ceiling and lower. So we're trying to make a footprint right over you, right up on the ceiling. Same thing as before. Don't let the hips twist, right? Keep the hips in line. Just trying to isolate that movement into the glute, that glute hamstring connection. Belly stays lifting into the spine, up and down, up and down. Keep going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Stay strict with yourself about that alignment all the way through to the end. Last 3, 2, and 1. Bringing the leg in, other side. Left leg extends, lifting it up, bend, flex, knee under heel, pulsing it up. Watch that you're not sitting out into that right hip. Same thing as when we did the standing work with the bar. So you're connecting into that top thigh, pressing it into an imaginary other leg, right? Up and down. Keep the belly lifted and down. Stomping it up and down. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and last one. Pull the knee in, sit the hips back. Go ahead and sit into the right hip, walk the hands over to the left side. Just getting an extra stretch through that side. And walking the hands over to the left, or sorry, to the right, sit into the left hip. Coming back to center, come back into that quadruped, all fours. Okay, we're gonna go into some push-ups. So you can lower the knees to the mat if you need to. Otherwise, come into a plank, slight curl in the pelvis, long through the spine. We're gonna take 8 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 more, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lower the knees, untuck the toes, sit the hips back. Coming back into that quadruped, extending the legs back to the plank or knees down. 6 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more, 5, and 6. Lower the knees down, untuck the toes, sit the hips back. This is your break. And the breathing also just helps to get that heart rate back down for a moment, almost like a little interval. Coming forward again, extending the legs. Slight curl in the pelvis, 4 push-ups. 1, 2, 3. Last 1. Knees down, untuck, sit the hips back. 1 more time. Last set, nice and easy, nice and short. Legs extend back, and 2 push-ups. 1. Last 1. Lower the knees, untuck the toes, sit the hips back. Okay, let's come on to our side. So I'm on my left hip. I'm going to keep that leg bent, place my right foot over. My left hand is out to the side, right hand resting on the knee. Before we go into this, let me just show. We're going to come up into this side plank. If you need, you can lower this knee down. You could even come onto your forearm if it's a lot in your wrist. You can just hold that side plank down there, okay? So a couple of options, all right? So here we go, pressing it up. Now, either just holding here or lift that top hip, arm over, back to center. Lower the hips to hover, arm down, and center. Top hip up. So you can just hold the plank. If this is a lot, just hold that side plank instead. Lifting up and center. Make sure that bottom shoulder is staying out of the ear. Up and center. Lower to hover. 1 more time through each direction. Lower to hover. And bend the knees. Coming down. Let's go right around to the other side. So any of those options, we're not up there for too long, but it's okay just to hold the plank and breathe there. Otherwise, we'll move the hips. So coming up, if you want to go for the hip movement, lifting up, arm overhead and center, lower and center. And I would say if something is feeling really challenging or is causing pain that's not just muscle burn, come out of it and work your way up to it slower. So maybe take some time just to hold that plank, and then maybe next week try the hip lift, or in a couple weeks try the hip lift, right? Don't force yourself to go too fast. Last set, and down. Bend the knees, coming down. All right, let's actually take a little side stretch. So just tuck one leg over. Opposite arm comes up. You can hold that bottom ankle, stretching over. Coming up, place that hand, stretching away. And coming up. Center and bend away. One more time. And bending away. Coming up to center, let's swivel those legs other side. Same side stretch, holding onto that top ankle. One arm up to bend over the legs. And then coming up to bend away. Coming up to bend over. Feel that nice long stretch through the side into the arm. And away. One more time. Coming up and lower the arms down. All right, let's go ahead and I had one more for us to do today. Let's come onto our side. We'll get some side kicks in and then we'll take it into our stretch. So we're up on the forearm. Start by lining the legs up with the mat, then bring them slightly forward, flex the feet. This arm can be down for balance. A little bit more challenging would be here to try to challenge that balance. The top leg, we stay parallel and lift it up and lower. Lift. And again, watching this bottom shoulder, we want to be really careful not to sink into it. So really set it down into the back, right? Feel long through that top side of the waist. The hips are stacked. Lifting it up and down. Lift and lower. Last two. Last one, holding that leg up. We're going to take a little circle with the heel around to the back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's reverse that circle forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lowering down. Rotate to turn out. Let's kick that leg up and lower. Point the foot on the way up. Flex on the way down. Point, right? Trying to keep long through the side of the waist. Point and lift. 2 more. Last one. Now flex the foot, tapping front, back, back. Keep the rotation through the leg. Tap and tap, tap and tap. Keep it going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming all the way up. Swivel that around to the other side. Coming onto the forearm. So remember, we start by lining the legs up with the back of the mat. Bring them slightly forward. Flex. Here or here. Okay, long waist. Lifting it up. Now this top leg that's lifting, be really careful not to turn it out. We are in a true parallel, which comes from the top of the leg, right? When we turn out, it's just a different muscle activation. So keep it nice and parallel. Bottom shoulder is down. Let's go for 4. Ribs connected, belly up. Last 2. One more time, lifting up to stay, circling it back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's reverse, going forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, turning out. Point the foot to lift up. Flex and lower. Point and lift. Try not to drop into this side. So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. Yeah, we don't want to drop. Up, flex. Last 3 and 2. Last 1. Keep that flex lifted up. Little tap, 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 tap. Most important now to keep the rotation. So it's different. Keep going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming on up. All right, let's go into the stretch part of our class today. Yay. So we're in a quadruped to start. Legs together, hands are open. I want you to feel the knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders, long spine. Taking a breath in, exhale, round out through the spine. Coming through center, going into extension. Send the sit bones back, open the chest. And through center, curling under. I know I'm a loud workout class breather, but I find that finding that nice controlled exhale really does help me to find my center, right? Where is that breath coming from? It's coming from the low part of the torso, right? To send out through the mouth. So we're connecting into those deep abdominals. One more time, rounding it out from deep within the belly. Coming back to center, let's go into a twist. So open one arm, try to keep your hips reaching back, and then thread the arm underneath, finding a nice twist. And again, opening up. This is a good one if you do sit a lot during your day, just to get up and do a couple of sets, just to get your spine moving. It'll get stiff if it's in the same position for hours and hours at a time. So just every so often, hop down and just take a couple of twists. You don't need a lot. One more. Placing that hand back down, other side, right arm opens, and reach it through. Open. Let's just do 2 more. Last one. Coming back to center. Go ahead and tuck your toes under. Send your hips up to the ceiling. Reach your heels down to the mat. Drop your shoulders down. If you're really flexible in the bench, as I am, watch that you're not overdoing the rib push forward. Keep the ribs connected in. And we'll just lift the heels up and reach them back down. And again, reaching up. Watch those shoulders are staying out of the ears. Lifting up. And down. One more time. Up. And down. Lifting the heels up to lower the knees down. Untuck the toes. Sit back for a moment. Bring the hands up. Walking to sit. Let's come onto our backs. Okay. Just bring the right knee in. Give it a hug. Just take a little circle, almost just like you're stirring the thigh and the hip. Try to make sure you're not tensing into that hip flexor at all. So reversing the circle when you're ready. And then extending that leg up. Now, if you're tighter in the hamstrings, first of all, you may be holding down here. Or if you're really tight, just bend that bottom leg, or even bend the top leg, okay? Not forcing it. And flex and point. That top foot, flex and point. Just 2 more times. Flex and point. Last one. Taking that leg in your right hand. So I have my right leg up. I'm going to hold it in my right hand. Left hand to the hip. Opening it to the side. Try not to let that opposite hip lift up. So just trying to get some opening through the hip. The more you can actually relax the glute and the outer hip, the better. Notice if you're tending to grip there. It just doesn't allow us as much of an opening. And then bringing the leg, hold on the outside of the foot. And rather than just taking the leg to the side, think about keeping that hip down and bringing it across the chest like a seatbelt band. And taking it into the right arm again to open side. Just moving through it, coming back through center, crossing it over. One more time, each opening out. Crossing over. Sometimes it's nice to hold the stretch a little bit. Sometimes it's nice just to move through it. And coming back to center. So this is my favorite piriformis or outer hip stretch. You're going to bend the knee, bring that knee to center, right? So it's opposite my sternum. I'm going to take my left hand, grab a hold wherever I can. I like to try to grab the heel. And then keeping that knee on center. This is a great stretch, especially for dancers, ballet dancers who use your turnout a lot. We need to release that sometimes. So I'm thinking about bringing that heel up to my opposite shoulder. Most important, really, is to keep that knee on center. If you open it, we're not getting the same stretch. And then from there, you're trying to bring that heel up this way. It's like a pigeon, but reverse. Takes a little bit of extra strain out of the knee joint that sometimes you might experience in pigeon if you're tighter. One more breath. Go ahead and release that leg. I personally suffer from some low back tightness and pain sometimes. That one is great for me. I know we're all a little bit different. Go ahead and grab that leg. But for me, when my low back gets really tight, it's generally coming from my outer rotators, at least for my body, so that one really helps me relieve some back tension. Now again, we're all a little bit different, so that may or may not be the case for you, but it's worth a try to see if it helps. Go ahead and extend that leg up, and just taking your flex and point. 2 more. Last one. Taking that leg in the same arm, opposite hand to the hip, to keep it down as you open. Just getting some mobility in the hip, nothing too crazy. Coming up through center, take that foot or ankle into the other hand, stretching it across like a seat belt. You can even slightly sickle that foot. You get even more stretch to that outer line of the leg. And bringing it out again, opening. And crossing it over, just moving through it. And don't skip the stretch part of class. I know sometimes we're done, we gotta run, but the stretching at the end is really important because if you work those muscles in that concentric, shortened way, it's not bad, of course, but we do want to lengthen back out. That's how our bodies actually feel more functional. So make sure if there's a small stretch at the end or some kind of mobility movement that you take part in that. Coming back to center, let's go ahead and bend the leg, bring it right opposite the sternum, opposite hand grabs up on the foot or the ankle, and you're just pulling it gently, never forcing it. You may notice one side is tighter than the other, that's normal. Taking a few more breaths. One more, just deepening. And bringing that leg in, pull both legs in, give them both a little circle for the sacrum. Reversing that. Rock and roll yourself up. Let's come back around to a quadruped, hands and knees. Tuck the toes under, hips up to the ceiling, heels to the mat. Walk your hands to your feet. And if you need, soften the knees slightly to roll yourselves all the way up to standing. Shoulders over hips, head over shoulders. Just taking a step back off of your mat, feet together, reach the arms up. And as you press down, just growing the spine a little bit taller. One more time, lifting up and press. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that you feel good and you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will see you next time. Bye.